What's up, guys? Just wanted to get with y'all this morning. Hold up. I feel like it's really dark on the camera. Well, let me adjust that. Alright. I think that's a little bit better. Might not be. It might be the same. I don't know. So anyways, alright guys. Just wanted to get with y'all. Talk about trail cameras today. There's so much that goes into trail cameras. I use them. I know some of these states are making them illegal, and honestly, I understand why, but I also go, you know, it's technology. We might as well use it. If we can use it to better deer hunting, meaning I can manage my deer herd, I know what deer we have, and I can tell, hey, I've had past history, that deer's only 3. Let them go. Especially for those who are practicing, you know, QDMA. So, but I want to go over trail cameras. 7 tips I use for trail cameras. Alright, so there's 7 of them, right? We're going to start with the first one. Simple as, when you set it up, make sure you're facing it north. If you face the camera north, you won't ever have sun shining down, and therefore you won't have glare on any of your pictures. Obviously, it's self-explanatory why that's important. Sometimes you have to face it a different direction, and it is what it is. So next tip, what I personally like is, my one property has a fence on it, so I look for heavy trails that cross that fence, and I'll put a camera on it. So fence crossings, find a heavy trail, put the camera on it, and that'll at least tell you what's crossing right there, and you know, you might get a new picture of a big deer. Next one is pinch points. I like to hunt pinch points. That's just me personally. Some other people don't, but I do. Hunting pinch points, it just gets all the deer in one area for the most part. So I like to find heavy trails on those pinch points, and I like to put cameras on those trails. Oftentimes, I've had some really big deer come through on those pinch points. I had one that was probably 170-inch deer. He's a giant 11 point. I have a little short video of him. So, you know, that brings in the next one. Put it on heavy trails. That's the key right there. So from face it north to fence crossings to pinch points and heavy trails. So the key here is going to be, look for the heavy trails. You find the heavy trails, then you put your camera on it. Okay, don't put it on a light trail, put it on the heaviest trail you can find, because that's going to tell you where most of the deer are walking. Now I use those especially I use them year round, but mainly during actual hunting season. So, and let me explain on that a little bit more. So in the summertime, I have my cameras on feed and mineral sites. So mainly mineral sites in the summertime, just so I don't have to keep going back out there and putting feed out. So, and that'll get me the pictures I want of all the big deer. So by doing that, it allows me to hopefully be able to say, hey, I have a deer coming in. He might be coming in just after dark, or he might be coming in, you know, right at dark, and I would like an opportunity to shoot that deer 30 minutes earlier, an hour earlier, rather than right at dark or just after dark. Obviously you can't shoot them after dark, but So I'm sitting there and I go, okay, try and pattern him. He's there. So what I do is I go about 100 yards off of that mineral location, feed location. I go about 100 yards off, and I go to the nearest heavy trail, and I will put a camera. And then I'll go to the other side and put a camera 100 yards off. And I might do 4 cameras just to see, okay, which direction is he coming in, okay? And so after I get those pictures, I go another 100 yards and put the camera. So that way I can hopefully pattern that deer earlier. You just never know. Sometimes these deer are only moving 200 yards in the summertime because they don't have to move much. So my suggestion is don't do this right at dark. Don't do this at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. when it gets dark at 8. Do all your stuff midday. So put your cameras out midday, check them, do all that sort of stuff. You can even do it at like 10 a.m. That's fine for me. I don't mind doing them at 10 a.m. because most of the time the deer are already moved back, especially the bigger bucks, and they're already bedded down. So during season, I will also like to put trail cameras on scrapes and rubs. I'll do rub lines and find the heavy trail between the 2 rubs and put the camera there and see what shows up. Food plots. If you have food plots, put cameras on them. Even if you don't put feed, put cameras on them. That's going to tell you, especially during hunting season, which is when it matters most, to have that camera there. Because when it's going off daylight picture after daylight picture after daylight picture in November, and it's a does, you might want to be there hunting, because guess what? The big boy is going to come through with those does at some point. So that's how I like to use my trail cameras. I'm trying to keep these short and sweet, simple. So my 7 tips: face it north, put it on fence crossings, put them in pinch points, put them on heavy trails, and I'll get back to the heavy trails. Put them on scrapes and rubs, food plots, and mineral sites. So that's the 7. Okay, let me give you guys another tip for the heavy trails, okay, for cameras. I oftentimes will find the heavy trail, right? You find it, it's going here. I will go 5 yards off the heavy trail, 5 yards, and I will put a bag of corn, and I will put a camera facing over the corn to the heavy trail. So let me explain why this is important. I do it that way not just because I can get pictures of deer over the feed, but all those deer walking that heavy trail oftentimes will veer off and hit the corn. So when it comes hunting season, and this is when I mainly do this, is during hunting season, they're traveling those heavy trails, right? Well, if I have the corn there, they'll stop and eat. But if you notice during the rut, oftentimes bigger bucks, they're not eating. They're just traveling downwind. They're scent checking to see. So they're going to travel that heavy trail, and they might not even go to the feed, but they're going to be 5 yards off of it. And if you know, hey, it's a 20-yard shot to the feed, another 25-yard shot, boom, easy, especially for bow hunting. I've actually killed 2 or 3 big bucks that way, because I set up the feed just off that, and then they come walking down the trail because they're just searching for does, and we all know the does are going to feed and they're eating. So, but those are my tips. That's what I like. I hope this helps some of y'all. Without spending hours and hours and hours of talking about trail cameras and the different types and how how I set them up. This is the best I can do for you guys. I break it down into 7 different key things I do to make sure I get good quality pictures, and I actually, you know, get pictures of new deer that I have never seen. So, you know, face it north. I put them on fence crossings. I put them in pinch points. I put them on heavy trails. I put them over scrapes and rubs during season, over food plots, and over feed and mineral sites. So feed and mineral sites big time in the summertime. Also food plots somewhat in the summertime, but mainly in hunting season I put them, they're over food plots. And then scrapes during hunting season, and then the heavy trails and pinch points during hunting season. Now I'll put them on fence crossings, that sort of stuff, just to try and track the bigger deers that I'm going after. So, but I hope this helps out some of y'all. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe for me. I appreciate it. Hey, also, we're still gonna do the giveaway. Once we get to 1,000, we're gonna do the giveaway tattoo, and I'll give away some stuff. This hat right here, it's a little raggedy because I've been wearing it non-stop. We got cups I'll give away also, and we'll give away some shirts, just stuff like that. I'm gonna do a few giveaways once we get there. It's been a journey. I appreciate y'all, all of y'all, and always be safe. Have a good one. Hopefully y'all get some big bucks. Hey, join on all the socials: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all right, and of course YouTube. Make sure y'all subscribe on all those. On the Facebook, we have a Facebook hunting group page where everybody can comment and share their stories. Y'all go subscribe that way for me. All right, see you guys.